Hi everyone, so let's get straight to the point. I'll be sharing with you 3 nutritional tips for you to lose weight without dieting. I mean, I do not believe in diets. Don't get me wrong, they work, but they only work usually for, a set period of time. When you go on a diet, what tends to happen is that, for example, if you were to go on a liquid diet, yes, you will lose weight, but what you're losing is not fat. All you're losing is just water and muscle mass. At the end of your diet, will you be able to maintain a liquid diet for the rest of your life? The answer is no, and it's not good for you as well. So today, I'll be speaking about, ways to eat right. Everybody knows how to eat healthy. When we talk about healthy eating, the first thing that comes to our mind is, eat lean meat, have lots of salad, make sure your plate is full of green salad, lean protein. But what about eating right? Because eating right is a key to losing weight. So 3 tips I would like you to follow in order to lose weight without dieting are: tip number 1, your meal intervals. Alright? Tip number 2, nutrition ratio per meal. And tip number 3, calories per meal. Let's go into each tips in more details. The key to remember is that we want our blood sugar level to be stabilized. When our blood sugar is stabilized, what happens is that our body will start breaking down fat and start burning fat, and we won't be craving sugary food at the same time. So let's go through each of the points in details. Point number 1, meal intervals. Always remember that the first meal, which is your breakfast, should be consumed within the first hour of you waking up. Breakfast means break fast, so it should be consumed within the first hour of you waking up. What happens next is that you should continue eating for every 3 to 4 hours. Yes, you've heard me right. You need to eat frequently. So every 3 to 4 hours, you should have something to eat. So that should be about 5 to 6 meals a day. What you want to be doing is to eat small portions but frequently to stabilize your blood sugar level. And the last meal of the day should be consumed 1 hour before bedtime. So yes, you can eat, near to your bedtime, but just make sure that it's 1 hour before bedtime and that you're only eating protein and fat and not carbohydrate. The key to remember is that if you're very hungry at mealtime, that means you have waited too long to eat. If you don't feel hungry at mealtime, that means you have consumed too much, in your previous meal. So you should always feel right to eat after 3 to 4 hours. So remember to eat every 3 to 4 hours. If you're not feeling hungry after 4 hours, eat half the meal that you're supposed to eat. And if you're not hungry after the next 4 hours, eat quarter that meal. But the key is you need to eat in order to stabilize your blood sugar level. And also another important point to remember is that meals and snacks are the same. So basically what this means is that you can have your breakfast during lunchtime, you can have your lunch meal during breakfast time, you can mix them up, you can have your dinner during lunchtime. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing like I need to have this for breakfast, that for lunch. No, as long as you're eating every 3 to 4 hours and eating in the right portion, it doesn't matter when you eat what meal. Alright, so the second point is nutrients ratio per meal. What this means is that in every meal you should be consuming your protein, your carbs and your fat. Protein equals your lean meat, fish, tofu, eggs, whereas carbohydrates equals not just rice, not just bread, but also all your vegetables. I know there are diets out there saying that you should cut your carbs, but no. If you eat 2 liters carbs, what happens is that your body will start storing fat and your body will stop burning fat, and we don't want that. But at the same time, if you eat too much carbs, your body will store too much fat at the same time and also reduce your energy level. So the key is to remember to eat the right nutrient ratios per meal. So what is the right nutrient ratio per meal? Protein and carbs should be eaten at almost the same ratio, whereas fat should always be at the lowest amount. So let's put protein, carbs and fat at 100%. Fat should only be consumed about 20%, and that is literally a teaspoon of olive oil, or a teaspoon of butter, or peanut butter, things like that. It's in minimum portion. Whereas protein and carb should be about 40 and 40% each, or you can have more protein, 45% and 35% of carb. By balancing out your nutrient ratio, your body is getting the essential nutrient that your body needs, and therefore it will maximize fat burning. And the third point is, everybody knows this, calories per meal. So if you're eating so frequently, you should not be consuming a lot of calories per meal. For women, I would suggest that you consume about 250 to 350 calories, whereas for men, you can consume about 400 to 450 calories per meal. Well, it also depends on your activity level. If you're a very active person, whether being a male or female, then obviously you need to consume more calories. But if you're doing a lot of office work and you're not moving much at all, try to stick to the guideline of 250 to 350 calories for women and 400 to 450 calories for men per meal. So that includes your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Too many calories consumed at a meal increases fat storage and reduces your appetite on the next meal. And 2 little calories consumed at a meal would drop your blood sugar level. Therefore, you will start craving, sugary stuff, and whenever you see something that it's sweet, what will you do? You will just grab it and eat it without even thinking. So, how do we know we're consuming the right calories? The key is to remember that you should feel satisfied after each meal. So if you're feeling too full after a meal, that's telling me that you're eating too much. If you're still feeling hungry after an hour, that's telling me that you're eating too little. So the key is to just feel satisfied and not overindulging. Those are the 3 main points to remember and practice in order to lose weight without dieting. And if you can incorporate this to your lifestyle, what you're doing is that you will not only be able to lose weight, but to maintain your weight for the rest of your life. And that's what we want. And most diets, you can't do that through most diets because they are only temporary. So remember that nutrition should be part of your lifestyle and that you should have fun and enjoy it. 3 tips to remember. First one, meal intervals. Second one, nutrient ratio per meal. And the last one, calories per meal. And if you can follow this, eat frequently, don't let your body go hungry, neither should you overindulge. I can assure you that you will start seeing results, by losing weight and feeling healthier and fitter. And if there are anything that is unclear, anything that you want more elaboration on, please leave a comment and I will strive to answer them.